What we're going to do is show you how to drill holes with your CNC Shark using Vectric software. So this is a demo, so I'm just going to do a 6x6 by 3/4 deep. So that will be our workpiece right there. To do holes, obviously you're going to need a circle. So you go to the circle tool and open it up. My bit size is 1/4 inch in diameter. And I like to make it just a little bit over, like 0.55, because sometimes when you have a 1/4 inch bit, the software won't let it fit in a 1/4 inch hole. It looks at it and there's no tolerance, so I'll make my hole a little bit bigger, and that way it'll slide in there. Now I can create it, I can click it and create it. So I just come over and click and create a hole. It's working slow for some reason. There are my holes. See, I clicked 3 times. So we're going to drill some holes. What we're going to do, close this. We're going to make some of these bigger. Double click and slide it over so it won't be in the way. So there's some holes. I'm going to increase the size of this one. Just drag it and that's rotate. Come on, give me a handle. There we go. So there it is. There's a bigger hole. So I'm going to make, I don't want to make too many, but I'll make a few. So there's 4 at 0.25 and 1 that's larger. Now how do I figure out how big I made this hole? One of the ways you can do it, a software trick, click on it and then come over to the hole and highlight this, and it'll tell you the radius or the diameter that the hole is. See it there? If I want to change that, let's make it a 0.5 hole. I can do it a couple ways. I can say it's a half hole and then hit my equal sign and it'll automatically convert it. So you can put in fractions and put the equal sign and it'll convert it. So that made that hole a 1/2 inch. So now we're going to go over to our Toolpath. It's on the far left. Click on Toolpath and then lock it in place. You have one that's called drilling paths. That will work. I tend to use a different one, simply because, I don't know, I use the one right next to it. I make a pocket toolpath. So I'm going to open it up and I'm going to click all these. Okay, so let me select them. Select them all, and I'll select this one. Oops, get these selected them all. It's hard to do when you only got one hand here. Well, we'll just do it that way. We're going to make them all the same anyway, because our cut depth is going to be a 1/2 inch. We'll change that cut depth to 0.5. And say create or calculate. Now if you look, it only made the 1, it looks like. See it? Wow, that only made 1. Well, that's not really true. What it did do, you can see it, is it made all 3. I'm going to preview my visible, or all 5, whatever number there is there. See it? They're all there. And we're going to reset that and do it again, but I'm going to slow it down a little bit. Sorry about this, I don't have my helper today. Turn on the pocket. Come back and preview it. See it going down? I'll slow it down a little bit more. Reset it. You preview it. See it cutting it down, making it bigger and going down. It's ramping down, so it's going to clean out that hole. Slow it down to the last time, we'll do it again. Reset, preview. See how it's curving and going, ramping down in there and cleaning out that hole. Okay, that's it. That's how you do a hole. Now there's one other step that I haven't bothered to cover yet, and that's how do I save this file. Well, I do that. Let me rotate this a little bit more so we can get a little better angle. You can see I've got it set for CNC Shark right there, and if you click this, you'll see there's hundreds of them on there. So the one you want is CNC Shark USB 3D, and that one, I click this, and if you notice, if I wait on it, it tells you how long it's going to take to do, 41 seconds. Click on that. That tells me that I want to save this path with a 1/4 inch end mill. And I save it. I click save, and then I save to my fob, and next we'll go into the lab, and you'll be able to see that. Now I'll head back to the wood shop, and I've got it on the USB, so I'll just tap the USB port, and that calls it up. And we named it Pocket Drill File, and that's the file. It's a tap file. And then you simply look at the dates and all that stuff, and simply hit next and tell it. We know it's not referenced to the center because we did it over in the left corner, so that's fine. I'm going to slow it down to like 10%. Because it doesn't take long to do these drilling operations, so that'll slow it down. Then next I'll turn on the spindle so that the drill will actually dig into the wood. So I'll reach down and hit the run or start on the spindle. If you've got a router, you simply turn the router on. Make sure you get it on beforehand, otherwise it's not much fun. It damages your workpiece and can do some damage to the bearings too. So simply hit start and you'll see it move over and drill. There's 4 holes that it drills that are just basically straight down, and it's not really only straight down, it's actually moving in downward fashion that goes down to 0.3 inches, then it comes up and goes down to the full depth, which is 0.5. You can change that to make it override it so it goes all the way down to 0.6, but I always find it nice that it clears the hole that way and comes up. And it's moving down in a circular pattern is what it's doing, because if you remember, this is 0.255, so it's 5 thousandths larger than the drill. So the drill is wiggling when it goes down, and you'll notice how it does it when it goes to the 1/2 inch hole. You'll see it actually start doing a downward pattern that is pretty pronounced. So you'll see that shortly. And then it's going to move over when it's done with this one and start the 1/2 inch hole. And as it comes in, it's making a circular pattern, see it? And it's going down. That's the ramp process. Now you notice it changed its rotation and going down another 1/2 inch in direction. So it's enlarging it. You notice it sped up once it got to depth. And it's taking about a 30 or 40% cut. Now it's going to go down the second, 0.2 I think it is, because I think this hole depth was 0.5 and our depth of cut is 0.3. So it's going down farther yet. So it's moving down lower. And then it'll finish up the hole, and there's one hole that it'll drill after this. So that should do it. So it's finishing that hole. Moving over and drilling the next hole. Notice the fine dust coming up. Looks a little bit like smoke, but it's not. It's a real fine dust that's coming up. Then it's got one other hole that I added later, not in the drawing, that it's going to start, and that'll be the last of them. So it's doing 6 holes in this demo. I hit pause there so we can just clear it out. Thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, let me know.